Hey everyone, welcome back to States of Heart. Today's story is Sohi's stainless steel tray trembled ever so slightly in her hands as Lieutenant Commander Riley Knox moved through the crowded briefing room. The place smelled of burnt coffee, engine oil, and salt from the ocean just outside the carrier's hull. She'd been back on base for barely 2 weeks, quietly reassigned to administrative duty after the mission in the Persian Gulf that left her squadron shattered and her reputation. It's buried under classified reports now. She wore the khaki uniform of a logistics officer, no flight wings, no recognition, just another name tag among many. She poured coffee for officers who didn't know who she used to be, and she preferred it that way. The room buzzed with tension as high-ranking Navy officers filled every seat. Charts and satellite photos littered the walls. They were preparing for a high-stakes joint operation, something big enough to bring an admiral from Washington. Riley stayed silent, moving between tables, refilling mugs, invisible as steam. "Coffee, sir?" she asked quietly, offering the pot to a gray-haired commander who didn't even glance up. When she turned toward the front, the door opened. The chatter stopped. Admiral Pierce entered, tall, silver-haired, with a gaze that could silence a room faster than a siren. Every officer straightened, spines snapping to attention. His mere presence demanded it. Riley took a careful step back. Tray pressed to her chest. "Gentlemen," the Admiral said, his tone sharp as a blade. "Let's get started." The projector hummed to life, showing an aerial image of a hostile airfield. "We've lost 2 reconnaissance drones over this area. Intelligence believes it's an advanced radar sight Russian tech, modified and mobile. We need eyes on the ground before we plan a strike." Murmurs rippled through the room. One officer asked, "Sir, do we have a pilot cleared for a altitude recon over that zone?" The Admiral didn't answer right away. His eyes scanned the room slowly, methodically, then stopped. On her, Riley froze. A drip of coffee spilling onto her hand, scalding hot. She didn't move. Admiral Pierce tilted his head slightly, recognition flickering behind the cold precision of his stare. And then, he said it, "Ghosthawk." The name dropped into the silence like a thunderclap. Every head turned. The air shifted. The chatter died. Riley's breath caught. That call sign hadn't been spoken out loud since the mission over the Gulf. Ghosthawk. The pilot who flew into enemy territory under radar, completed an impossible strike, and vanished off comms for 17 minutes. The one who saved 3 SEAL teams from certain death. The one the Navy quietly labeled compromised when the truth of that mission got buried. Every officer in the room stared at her now, trying to reconcile the quiet woman holding a coffee pot with the legend they'd heard stories about. "Sir," Riley said quickly, her voice tight, "I believe you're mistaken." The Admiral's eyes softened. "Not much, but enough." "No mistake, Lieutenant Commander. You're the only pilot I know who flew through a triple radar net at Mach 1.5 and came out breathing." A murmur spread through the room. Shock. Disbelief. Someone whispered, "That's Ghosthawk. She's real?" Riley set the tray down slowly. Her pulse thundered in her ears. "With respect, Admiral, I'm not cleared for flight duty anymore." Pierce folded his arms. "Not cleared or not willing?" She hesitated. The question hit like a gut punch. She remembered the last mission, the chaos, the loss, the order that came too late. She remembered her co-pilot's scream as the engine took a hit. She'd survived, but barely. "I followed orders, sir," she said quietly. "And I read the report," the Admiral replied. "The one they redacted." Gasps echoed around the table. Officers glanced at one another, uncertain if they were even allowed to hear this conversation. Pierce continued, voice low. "You were ordered to retreat. You didn't. You went back in and saved those men. And for that, Command buried you under paperwork because it embarrassed the wrong people." Silence. Just the hum of the projector and the faint tapping of rain on the windows. Then he said, "I'm reinstating you. Commander Knox, effective immediately." The tray clattered to the floor. "Sir, that's an order, Ghosthawk." Her throat tightened. Every instinct told her to walk away, to stay hidden. But the other part, the part that remembered the feel of the stick in her hand, the roar of the jet under her control, the purpose wouldn't let her. She took a step forward. If I fly again, I pick my team. Pierce allowed a ghost of a smile. That's the Ghosthawk I remember. The rest of the room still hadn't recovered. The officers whispered in disbelief, glancing between the Admiral and the woman who'd just gone from coffee server to legend reborn in under a minute. Riley turned. Captain Reyes, I'll need your drone telemetry. Major Kellen, prep the strike maps. I want every radar frequency in that zone decoded before midnight. The men moved before they realized a tree-flex instinct. She spoke with the authority of someone who'd been born to lead missions, not serve drinks. The Admiral watched her take command, pride flickering in his eyes. You have 48 hours, he said. Riley nodded. I only need 12. When the briefing ended, the room emptied in a rush of energy and awe. For the first time in years, she felt it again, the electricity, the focus, the reason she joined in the first place. Pierce lingered behind. You did the right thing, Riley, back then and now. She looked at him, a faint smile breaking through. Let's just hope I can still fly like I used to, he chuckled softly. Something tells me you never stopped. As she walked out of the briefing room, whispers followed her like a shadow. Ghosthawk was back, and the Navy would never be the same.